Hi everyone. Unless you've got a fancy workshop, you're going to be using aerosols to spray body panels. Now there's some debate in the forum world about how good you can produce a paint finish using aerosol cans. And behind me is my SLK, and this wing I have sprayed myself. It was a brand new wing from Mercedes. It came with just a base paint of primer on there. I've put more primer, I've put a base coat of colour on it, and I've used a 2K lacquer to coat it. I've then polished it. So the result that you can see is pretty good. Now, is it as good as a showroom finish? Is it as good as a new car or a professional repair centre? No, it's not quite that good, but it is pretty good. You can see I've polished this and this. So the bonnet's original, the wing is new. There is a slight variation in it, but it's not vastly different. This is as good as I can get using an aerosol can. And I'm going to take you through the stages of what I did to achieve this, and hopefully that'll be useful. So first off, let's just take them out of the box, make sure they're the right ones. Yep, that's the right one. And as you can tell, there's no indicator hole in this, which means it's definitely a facelift one, which is brilliant. There we go. No silly holes to fill. Right. Now, if you're following this, you'll know that you're replacing them because they go rusty. Typically, they have a hole at the front next to the headlight where the water comes in and it rusts the mounting that goes on the front. At this point, you end up with a hole in the front corner, which I've filled in the ones that I've got, and you get rust around this wheel arch. Now, if you look at the way this is pressed, you'll see that there's kind of some design flaws in this. There are logical places for the muck and the damp and the crud to gather, and we need to get rid of those so it doesn't happen again. So I'm going to spray this whole inside of this wing with some basic Hammerite. I'm sure there's other things that could be used, but in this case it's not going to be seen. I've got some black smooth Hammerite, that'll do the job. And then once it's dry, I'm going to line inside these crevices with Tiger Seal, which will stop the dirt accumulating with the damp. It'll help the dirt and the water to run off and protect it forever. So here's the spraying process. But it's going to be a job to get into these crevices. So I'm going to work on this, see if I can get into them. I've been shaking this for a while. I've cleaned the inside as well. So I've damp wiped it out with a sort of solvent, and hopefully there's no dust on it. Let's just see how this goes on. Okay, so this is going on very nicely, very easily. I should be able to get in all those crevices. Right, there we go. First coat done. Just clear the nozzle. Cut back on the paint. Let it dry. Okay, going for coat number 2.
Cha, jiggy jiggy jiggy, cha, jig jig, cha, jiggy jiggy jiggy. I'm painting it. Cha, jiggy jiggy.
Okay, so for me this is all about getting a lot of paint onto this inner wing area. That's 2 really thick coats. There's actually certain areas where it started to run. It doesn't matter because it's inside. It's a thick coating. This can is pretty light now. So I'm going to do the other one. 2 really thick coats. Then I'll do the tiger seal. Now ideally when we tiger seal we would fill where there's a gap behind that could get muck in it. This area around the top of the wheel arch, which we know corrodes. But I'm just going to check the car first and see what fits up against these and whether it's going to obstruct it if I were to fill it. On my car we can see that there's a sort of rubber edging that goes up against this one. Right at the front here where this indicator pushes in. The indicator pushes in, comes out, there's a little clip inside to release it, and that rubber edging which isn't attached but it is quite a tight fit. I'm not going to put anything behind that because I'm concerned now I can't remember what's behind there. If we look behind here, find that actually there's nothing there except for all that dirt I talked about earlier and sealant that I put in there. The wheel arch liner is actually further back. That's the wheel arch liner, this is the wing. So I'm quietly confident I can fill behind the edge all the way along, all the way down to the bottom, and that'll be absolutely fine. So I can do behind the wheel arch. I'm not going to do behind the indicator area. Okay, back in the workshop. This is the edge that I want to seal behind. This is tiger seal. There's another video about tiger seal if you want to see how brilliant this stuff is. I used it to join a bit of cracked plastic and it stays flexible. This stuff is the mutt's nuts. It's the dog's danglies and it's used by lots of people for lots of things, including, I think, the sticking of car windows into cars, like windscreens. So I'm going to put this behind here and I'm going to squidge it into this gap so that what I'm going to try and do is get it to fill the gap completely so that no dirt can accumulate in there. I'm going to kind of overfill it so that I can then smooth it down. I know it's a bit tricky to see. I'll just get that into there and I'll stop. I'm not going to show you all of it because it'll take hours, but that is where I've now got this. And what I'm going to do is get just a spreading and smoothing device like this. I'm going to spread it out like that so that we're creating a slope for the mud to slide. I'm going to carry on doing that. I might top it up as I go along, make it even slopier so the mud slopes off. Don't want anything staying on the inside of this wheel arch once it's done. Yeah, hopefully that can then be flipped over and I can start doing the other side.
Cha, 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 seely, seely, cha, 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 seely, 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 cha, 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 seely, seely, lots of seely, cha, 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 here he goes again, cha, 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 seely, seely, scrapey, scrapey, cha, 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 chick, 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 cha, he's sealing, cha, chick, 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 he's sealing it, cha, chick, 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 he's sealing, cha, chick, 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 he's sealing it, he's gonna scrape it, he goes scrape it, scrape it, he's doing it, yeah.
And there we go, time to flip it over. Okay, so I've just flipped this over and what I've discovered is that there were some small paint chips in this new wing. So this what you can now see is the end result of my using some 1200 grit wet and dry paper and a small amount of very fine wire wool. And obviously the wet and dry is coarser than the wire wool. Gradually took it down to the paint. This was obviously a much smaller bare metal area where it was a chip out of the paint, but to make it flat I've used the wet and dry to just in careful strokes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just to ease it down. And then the scratches that were made by the wet and dry, I've just used this wire wool to polish them out. Now it's obviously not a shiny finish, but that's fine. The high build primer that I'm going to use will fill these tiny little scratches that the fine wire wool makes. And that's nice and flat. Now I'm going to wipe off the whole area with some clean cloth and white spirit, just to which will then evaporate, so it's absolutely clean before I spray.
Cleany, 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 cleany. He's cleaning it, yeah, cleany, cleany, cleany.
Ready for the primer. The paint system I'm using was from Advanced. They've provided ultimate super high build primer, so that's what I'm going to be using today to put a hopefully an even coat of primer on this wing. The instructions on this give a 2-minute gap between coats, and they say spray at 20 to 25 centimeters from the surface, so that's what I'm going to be trying to do. I'll try and do 3 sort of light coats on this to build it up, and yeah, let's see how we go. First of all, you have to shake it to death, so I'm just going to do that for a few minutes.
Shake, 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 shake.
There's a ball bearing in this. That took a long time for that to come loose, so I've actually shaken this for a long time. And I think we're ready to go. We'll start underneath. Wow, that's thick. So I think we've had 2 minutes already, so I'm going to start again. Looking good. So 4 minutes in on the video, so this is 2 minutes that I'm going through the process. So it's a continuous, because I'm starting again at the beginning, and it takes 2 minutes to do the panel. So, third coat. going to leave that for now. Let's let it dry and then I'll do the other one. Right, these have both dried, and now I'm ready to prepare for the proper colour coat. I'm going back to my very fine steel wool. You can see this is quadruple zero, which means it's very gentle. I think an equivalent in wet and dry would be 2400 grit, if you can get it. When you rub this surface, you can feel that there's a bit of roughness to it, but if you take the wool, smooth it over, that roughness then goes. So I'm going to do this all over, very gently, all over this area with very fine steel wool. Get rid of any blemishes, any indents, any sort of roughness to it before I then wipe it down with some more white spirit on a clean cloth, prepare it for the colour coat. So we'll do this quick. Okay, all done. I'm going to do the other one and then we're going to start spraying the main colour. I just wanted to make the point here that this area where I've been using this wire wool, it's quite quiet. But if I go onto this area, it's noisy. And that's because it's all rough. Rough. Smooth. It's different. Very easy to tell where you've been and where you haven't been when you're using fine wire wool to get the imperfections out of primer. I'm not a painting expert, but this is quite obvious to me, and I'm expecting this to make quite a big difference to the finished surface. Anyway, I'll carry on. Right, well, I've cleaned both panels and they're smooth. Next bit is the top coat, and in this case it's Mercedes Lazulith Blue, which is the colour of the car. The instructions on here are there, so it basically it says shake it well, 2-3 minutes, hold the can upright 20 to 30 centimeters from the panel, using a sideways motion apply the first coat, apply 2 to 3 thin coats, allowing 5 to 10 minutes between each coat. So this is much slower than the primer, and it has to be done sideways, which is why I've got the panel stood up. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get to everywhere with this stood up. It's got a prop behind it so that it's vertical, and I can get onto the top bit as well to do the flange where all the bolts are that hold it onto the side of the car. Anyway, we'll see how we go. I'll give you a spare nozzle, which is rather nice of them. Thank you. So do a little bit on the back first. Just see how it comes out. Definitely blue. What I'm doing here is just trying to get to the edge bit so that I know all the edges are done before I do the main coat across the whole thing. I'm so desperate to stop it running. We can't have anything that builds up and then runs. That would be a disaster. This bit down here is quite thick. It's close to starting to sag. So this is the sort of thing we have to be very careful of. I'm quite pleased with that. That looks pretty good for a first coat. I'm going to turn this upside down, clear the nozzle inside. Just like so. That's now ready to go for next time, and we'll give it at least 5 minutes to dry. Okay, coat number 2. Okay, coat number 2. I'm actually expecting to do probably 4 coats, but we'll see. Okay, coat number 3. It's looking pretty cool. Sorry, the light's pretty rubbish in here. The sun's coming straight down, so it's kind of hard to see it properly. But yeah, it is looking pretty cool. Anyway, coat number 3. I'm going to do more. Okay, hopefully final coat. running out in this one now. I might need to go to another can, but I'm not happy that it's covered properly over the far side here. So we'll see how we go.
And move on to another can. This one's going on.
I think we're in a good place. There we go. Let's see how that dries. We'll look at it in the morning. Right, some of the forums I've been reading have said that you should really apply your clear coat or lacquer when the base coat is still sort of tacky, so that the solvent in this will sort of adhere to the base coat and form a really strong connection. So I'm not going to leave this to dry overnight. It's been drying for about 10 minutes. This has the same sort of instructions as the base coat, so 20 to 30 centimeters from the panel, which I've struggled to do with the other cans, and it's sort of thin coats, 2 to thin 3 coats, so, and then dry in 24 hours. So, been shaking it for a while. Let's give it a go. Start at the back. Wow, this blasts out. Oh, do it again in 5 minutes. Right, lacquer number 2. There we go. Coat number 3. Along the top. Next one. And again. And theoretically, that is it. But we'll see how it dries. We'll wait for the morning. Okay, so it's now the following morning. This is the finished product in the morning daylight. So I'm just going to take this outside. The finish isn't sort of polished gloss smooth, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to change that with some polishing kit. But it's had 4 coats of lacquer. I actually gave it a further coat after the 3 that I videoed. So let's just take it to the car and make sure the colour's correct. Okay, so I just gently place this on the boot of the car. The car's wet at the moment, so you can see that there's water all over it. But you can also see that this is actually a pretty good match for the boot there. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty cool. So difficult in the light to see there, with the light obviously reflecting off it. But yeah, I think we're good to go for the second one. So I'm going to spray that, and then we'll get them fitted. Right, so it's time to put them back on the car. I'm not going to do a video of this. There is another video. If you want to see wings being taken off and put back on cars, then there's another video for it. Have a look through the channel, you'll find that. I'm going to do a quick time lapse of swapping the wings over. Here we go. Right, there we go, all done. As you can see, I've taken the indicator out. It's going to help me with getting polish on it, and I've got a polisher, just in case you thought it was a drill. I've also got some Megwire's polish, which I'm going to use. It gets a good reputation, bit of a shake, and we'll start getting that on, and it's probably going to take a bit of polishing, so I might fast track this for you. Obviously this is going to take forever, so leave it with me. So there we go. That's the finished product. I also have some mirror glaze, Maguire's professional high-tech yellow wax, which I'm going to put on it, protect it and probably make it even more shiny. But that is the finished job. Those are the stages of how you spray panels using aerosols. I hope that was useful. If it was, then give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and put some comments in. And yeah, let's have a chat about how good aerosols are and whether actually there's a place for them in the market. Thanks for watching, guys.